It's a Bluefin Tuna last night on the Pacific Voyager out of C4 Sport Fishing in San Diego in the 60 to 180 pound class with 15 fish over 100 pounds. Weather's great. Fish are
Please don't
biting.
forget to support the Friedman Adventurers family members who make this all possible, like the taxman, Tim Marquez, and your garage door man, Joe Welker, who does a great job and gets rave reviews here at Friedman Adventures. Heating and or air conditioning needs, it's our dear friend John Lopez, and also the Island Spirit, Ventura Sport Fishing. You can't beat it. Chris Isaac and the El Patron out of Long Beach Sport Fishing, www.longbeachsportfishing.org.
Get out of bed and wake up the kids, 'cause you know what time it is. It's time for the morning briefing. Fishing reports up and down the coast. Your Phil Friedman, your coffee-loving host. So much fishing intel, it feels like cheating when you tune into the morning briefing. Inshore, offshore, from the surf, bluefin, yellowtail, pod, surf, perch. They'll tell you where the fish are and what they're eating when you tune into the morning briefing. So give it a like and subscribe. Hit that bell to be notified of all the fishing content coming your way. Friedman Adventures is here to make your fishing day. It's a morning briefing. Morning briefing.
Hey, good morning, my dear friends, and welcome to beautiful Surfside, California on this lovely Sunday morning. Man, do we have a lot to talk about because there's some really great fishing going on south of the border. The long-range boys are on them. What a great bluefin tuna trip for several guys, and there was some slower trips mixed in. Our weather's great offshore right now. Good lingcod fishing in the Channel Islands. Still seeing bluefin tuna up there around San Francisco. Our local bite, Yellowtail, chewing for some of the half-day boys, and there's still some pretty good bass fishing going on. You know what time it is. It is time for the morning briefing. Good morning, my friends. Man, is that good, and is it great to be with you all. Thank you so much for joining us. Let's give it the Tootsie Report right away, and this water feels very warm as it has been all year long. That's got to be 70 degrees, pushing 70 degrees, and that's good news. If you don't mind, hit that like button, share these videos everywhere, subscribe to the Friedman Adventures YouTube channel, and tick that rotten, filthy, disgusting, smelly, deplorable little bell, and you'll be notified when there is new content. You can also follow us on Facebook, TikTok, Instagram, and Apple Podcasts. Great to be with you all. Let's start long range and tell you that the Wahoo fishing at Alejos Rocks is really good on quality fish. We told you about the Independents not catching a ton of Wahoo, but the fish they caught were big, beautiful Wahoo, and there's nothing like catching Wahoo. They are so much fun. We saw not only the Independents get in on it, but the Royal Polaris also in on it. Other zones down there in 8-day range of San Diego right now continue to produce some really excellent fishing. I'm talking about great 18 to 25 pound yellowtail and good yellowfin tuna fishing on most trips. The weather has really straightened out. We've had some periods of rough weather and down fishing, but overall it's been good. 40 to 80 pound yellowfin tuna. South of the border we go right now. Let's start you out at San Quintin, 140 miles below the border, where we continue to see some really good yellowtail action. Good fishing on the yo-yo iron, on the surface iron. If you can lay your grimy hands on some bait, you'll get bit that way. There's a variety of ways to catch those yellows down there right now, and it is outstanding. And offshore, we continue to see some really good signal. We're going to tell you what Jeff Lingle did kind of in that area. Actually fished a little bit south of there, but he had the best trip he's had this year, and he's had some great trips. We'll get you caught up on that. There's also some white sea bass, halibut, and plenty of sheephead, whitefish, rockfish there along the coast. Great fishing out of Ensenada, Baja California Norte. We continue to see really excellent fishing south of the border, about 70 miles. It's been fabulous the last couple of days as that bluefin tuna is reacting and biting. Once again, the guys from Baja Fishing, Diego Puentes, man, are they putting the wood to some nice bluefin tuna. So happy to see that. There's still yellowtail around Todos Santos Island. The yellow bite out the Coronado Islands has dropped off for some of the guys, although Carlos Cortez continues out of Popotla to make some good catches. In addition to the yellowtail, we're still seeing some outstanding barracuda fishing. Bass fishing, should you want to dedicate yourself to that, has been very, very good here recently. And also, we continue to see plenty of sheephead, whitefish, rockfish. All of that stuff for you has been quite good down there in Ensenada. Excellent fishing going on. Let's talk about our tuna bite. And overall, it is back on again. Excellent fishing. You know, some of that small grade fish for the overnight trips has been biting full speed. And then that bigger fish outside, guys have had some phenomenal scores. And then there's been some scores that have not been that great. Definitely this break in the weather is helping the Thunderbird out of Davies Locker in Newport Beach with 100 mixed bluefin and yellowfin as they get a break in the weather and cash in on it with some outstanding fishing. Down San Diego way, we continue to see some outstanding fishing. The Tomahawk on a day and a half trip, 28 guys, 53. Bluefin, a yellowtail to go along with it. Grande on an overnight trip with 58 bluefin tuna, which was limits to fish per rod here in Southern California and Northern Baja, my friends. Again, choosing a good hot bait, using a circle hook when you're fishing tuna, and dropping down to 25-pound fluorocarbon will get you a bite every single time you drop down to that lighter line, and that's going to work for you. Having said that, I will admonish you all to pay attention and be observant. You drop down to that 25 and hook a big fish, you could be in trouble. So if you are watching and you're seeing a guy getting bit on 30 or even 40, go to that. Fish as heavy as is possible. Having said that, you're going to get more bites on that lighter stuff, no doubt about that. Horizon with limits of bluefin tuna. We continue to see some nice fish also. Max Nui on the Pacific Voyager with a great trip on big fish. He had 80 to 160 pound fish. Beautiful. And the Pacific Dawn only had 5 bluefin tuna. And that guy's one heck of a fisherman, Mike Yost. I'll tell you that right now. But all 5 were over 100 pounds. Just to illustrate that you can miss from time to time. Overall, that bite is excellent. We mentioned fishing the lighter stuff. If you roll up on a foamer of bluefin tuna and you don't want to fish light, in other words with bait, poppers have and remain to be really excellent. They work so well. Tuna, riot, poppers, those are the ones we like. They're so well constructed and they just plain get bit. Don't forget, that gives you the option of getting bit on heavier string because you're not fishing poppers with anything less than 50. Fish heavy when you're fishing poppers or the iron in general, and that will always help you. So some good fishing going on. It doesn't look like that bluefin tuna area around San Clemente Island on the backside and up toward Nicholas is going to blow until Tuesday evening. We're going to get some wind out there in that area, so we'll have to watch that closely. But for right now, we have a great weather window, and those fish are responding and biting really, really well. We love what we're seeing. Let's talk islands. We'll go south, Coronado Islands. Remember, you need a passport to fish there. That is in Mexican waters. And the yellow bite over the past 48 hours has definitely taken a hit. It has gone downhill on us. Seen plenty of fish and mixed with the yellows at the islands. It's phenomenal. You got bluefin tuna. It's really, really interesting. I'm wondering if when this boat pressure comes off, it will start to mellow out a little bit. Jeff Lingle, and I saved his tuna report for right now because he was going by the Coronado Islands this morning about 3 a.m. and he said, man, there's a lot of boats here already. Jeff fished 171 miles down the Baja coast, and he said it was by far the best trip he's had all season long. Jeff is such a great guy and a great source of info for all of you Friedman Adventures family members. He takes security folks down there. They all have security clearances working for the government, so we don't put out the name of the boat or anything else, but we certainly love to see Jeff doing so well. With only 4 anglers on his trip, he had a 228-pound bluefin. These are all bluefin. A 145, a 130, a 125, 2 at 110 pounds, another one at 100 pounds. Limits of bluefin tuna for this absolutely fantastic trip for Jeff and the lucky anglers on board that one. That's down there, further down than most guys are fishing. Jeff likes to sneak down there. A, he's fast. He can get down there in a hurry. And B, he gets to fish kind of by himself down there. And man, he comes through with some great catches. And for those of you who are interested in Dorado and yellowfin tuna, he's getting a little signal down there. Nothing incredible so far. So he ended up with 5 Dorado, 7 yellowfin tuna, mostly 5 to 10 pound YFT, and 20 yellowtail fishing in on the beach. Tried to catch some sea bass down there. That didn't want to bite, but what a fabulous trip. All right, we'll go back to the Coronado Islands and give you a couple of scores to illustrate that it has been down to San Diego with 1 bluefin, 1 yellowfin, 3 yellowtail. They saw all kinds of fish. There's a lot of fish roaming around there, but getting them to bite, at least yesterday, was quite the chore. Hopefully it'll settle in as we get off this weekend boat pressure. Maybe it'll come back and start to bite again. Once again, that mix of fish is so intriguing. You can literally be on the anchor and catch a barracuda, a calico bass, a bluefin tuna, and or a yellowtail. That is what I call absolutely awesome. Mission Bell with 5 yellowtail. So there you have it, the Freedom up here. These guys are fishing Clemente sometimes they're fishing Nicholas. Not bad, but not wide open. That is for sure, as they fished out there for 7 yellows, a white Seabass. The Fury out of Dana Worsford fishing 28 yellowtail. Nothing wrong with that. At Catalina Island, man, they put the hurt on the whitefish and rockfish on the El Patron. Everybody going home with some great taco meat. One thing about Cat right now, and it seems like it's setting up for a fall kind of yellowtail bite, because the guys on the El Patron, Mad Dog, has been telling me we see yellows every single day bouncing around, boiling around. They are all over us. It's going to settle in and bite, and it seems like there's more fish every day, said Mad Dog, out there on the El Patron. So hang on, everybody. I think the best is yet to come. At times, there's some really good calico bass fishing at Cat. Make sure you're dropping that fluorocarbon down to 15, to 12 if you're catching straight bass. I know if you hook a yellow, you could be in some trouble. The yellows, however, there's been a lot of that 5 to 8 pound stuff, and then there's fish up over 30 pounds. If you're catching 5 to 8 pound yellowtail and calico bass, you're fine with 12 pound, and you're going to catch more bass and get more hookups if you're also changing your bait, choosing a hot bait and changing it regularly than you ever could have imagined. www.longbeachsportfishing.org to get on the El Patron and have some fun. The Island Spirit up there out of Ventura Sport Fishing has been doing really well on the lake cod here recently. Captain Daniel Hadaway has plenty of room for you on Monday and Tuesday. Wednesday, they're going to have their halibut special again. Today, they're out on a kids fish free fishing trip. Sundays, they run that promotion every single week, and they are already catching copious amounts of rockfish in beautiful weather. The Island Spirit doing their thing once again. Island Spirit, you can jump on board with Daniel and have a great time. www.venturasportfishing.com or 805-676-3474. Say hi to Daniel for me. You know, we haven't seen our big hits on the exotics the last few days up there in the Channel Islands. There's been a pick and a scratch at the white sea bass and also the halibut, but no big hits. We did go through some pretty windy weather up there. Maybe that had an adverse effect on that bite. We'll see if it bounces back here today, and Monday's going to be beautiful weather. It'll be a good time. But, you know, even when fishing for the exotics is slow up there, you're seeing great scores on the rockfish and the lingcod. I know the Mirage and the Aloha Spirit and the gray light's been catching some bluefin tuna in that neck of the woods. They run faster than the average sport boat, so they run further. But there's been some BFT up there in that neck of the woods that's really great fishing. Santa Barbara with quite a bit of lings, Avila Beach, Morro Bay, good rock fishing up there. And up in San Francisco, you could pick from striped bass to rockfish, pretty good halibut fishing, and some big 100-plus pound bluefin tuna right there. The Golden Gate Bridge, San Francisco, California. It's pretty darn remarkable, if you ask me. Our local bass bite and yellowtail fishing, the new Seaforth 13 on the Forkies yesterday. Nice yellowtail bite on the new Seaforth. I don't know how you can beat that. They had a bunch of young men on there, and these boys, or groms, as they were calling them, were just putting the wood to the yellows, and they knew exactly how to do it. Way to go. Nice to see so many great young men putting the wood to those Forkies yesterday on the new Seaforth down in San Diego. We see a mix of sand bass and calico bass. Some trips are putrid, you don't catch that much, and some trips are pretty darn good up there around Dana Point, Dana Wharf sport fishing. We're catching good calico bass on the local scene. A lot of action there as we continue to see a lot of bass biting 12-pound. You'll get bit all day long, drop down to 12-pound fluorocarbon there in Davies Locker, Newport Beach. We see the Freelance and several other boats doing kind of okay on the sand bass. Their twilight trips, picking away. You're fishing the lighter line and doing what the crew tells you. Dropper loop, sliding egg sinker. Ask them. They were there the night before, the day before. They know exactly what they're biting on. Keep that in mind, and that will help you a great deal. But fishing lighter line, I won't say it again. I know I'm repeating myself. But, man, that makes all the difference in the world. We get you up here in the Huntington Flats area, and we see a little bit of fish going on here. Some sand and calico bass, not bad. Private boaters just continue to hammer away at the calico and sand bass. Danny Jackson, we love Danny. He had a great group of anglers out, and they just had full speed, wide open calico bass fishing as my friend Fletcher right there is going out on the water. Fletcher, have a great one. There he is right there. All right, you might see him in the background toward the end of the report. Let me tell you, my friends, we love what we are seeing on the bass, but it's a lot scratchier right now. Redondo special. Yesterday, my alma mater half-day boat had a Redondo sport fishing with pretty good calico bass fishing, not wide open, but a little bit of that. And they had a yellowtail there. They've been catching a few exotics, especially when they get some live squid. That's when we really see some sea bass and yellows starting to manifest up there in the Channel Islands. We continue to see some pretty good bass fishing, a little bit of barracuda, calico bass, but it's been down here the last 24 hours for sure. In the Southern California surf, I'll point you down to Big Fish Bait and Tackle in the beautiful city of Seal Beach, California, right there on the corner of Pacific Coast Highway and Seal Beach, where you can pick up everything your little heart desires for surf fishing, for island fishing, for big game bluefin tuna fishing. They've got it all. Along the Southern California surf, this water, as I mentioned, is as warm as it's been all year long. And that's got the Corbina bite a little bit better down there around the Huntington Beach Pier here in Surfside, and also down there in Sunset Beach where you see the tower there. We've seen a few more spot fin croaker. Normally we'll get a fall bite on that and a little bit more Corbina. Also, it's been kind of a slower year on the beans, but we're maybe going to get a little bit of a late bite on them. There's still the occasional yellowfin croaker wandering around here, and occasional halibut in Long Beach. Up there we see a few halibut on the Lucky Crafts as well, and this is perfect for throwing a Lucky Craft or a little chrome crocodile. You know, cheaper, and they get bit, 3/4 ounce. Toss it out there, wind on it, vary your wind during the summertime, a little faster, medium, let's say wind, and you'll get bit all day long by doing that. And also up there around Redondo Beach, California, we see some pretty good Corbina fishing. Few yellowfin croaker there around the Topaz Rock Jetty up there in El Segundo. Also some good stuff going on. 2 live shows for you tomorrow. The Danny Cadota Show, live from 22nd Street Landing in beautiful San Pedro, California. Can't wait for that. That's at 4 o'clock in the afternoon. And then at 6, we're over at Island Fishing Tackle with my dear friend Sam De La Torre for Tackle Shop Confessions. Both those shows you can participate in. Just jump in the live chat and ask Danny a question, ask Sam a question. We'll be there for you all. And either one of those shows, you're welcome to join us live. Our studio at 22nd Street Landing. Tomorrow, you'll be able to come on down and have some fun with us, that's for sure. Or if you want to meet us over at Island Fishing Tackle, we'll be there tomorrow around 6 p.m., starting at 6 p.m. All right, my friends, have a great and beautiful Sunday, the last day of the Orange County Fair. Please forgive me if I don't break into tears. It's been a lot of fun. And already I'm starting to think, it's not that bad. Maybe one more year. I'm thinking to myself, this will be my last year working the fair, handing out beer to everybody there, meeting so many great people. Thank you all for coming by. And already I'm starting to say, well, that's how you go down the tubes, by quitting doing that. What am I going to do? Sit on the couch for a month? Man, that's how you go down the tubes. So maybe I'll be back, maybe not. I'm not quite sure. It has been a lot of fun. And really, it's been great meeting so many of you. Have a great one. Take care. Have a happy Sunday. We'll see you with our live shows on Monday. And I hope to see you really, really soon.